We're back. Baggedmilk.
Hello.
It was a long break. It's not always that long, is it?
No.
I don't know. Like, it felt really long this time. It was only 10 days between Oilers games, but it felt like an eternity.
That's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time. They don't have another week-long break now in the season, do they?
I don't think so.
No, it's a stretch drive now. It's all business for the last 31 games of the year.
Sometimes there's that random bye week that they'll have or whatever.
Yeah.
But
So that got smashed into this All-Star break this time around. So that's why it was so long.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, so the start of a 4-game road trip last night, and they started out okay. Things sort of fell apart there towards the end of the first period. A little bit back and forth. Obviously, you can expect that from a team that's been off for a bit, but managed to get a win. So a decisive finish. Here's my question, just an observation. When did the Oilers become a tough team to play against?
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Like, there was some point in January where they just decided as a group that they had enough or something, because the Fighting Majors in January alone was greater than the entire season prior to that. And then last night, I know there was no fights technically last night, but they were chippy. They were ready to go. And I thought Evander Kane was very, very funny after the game when he and to paraphrase, he was just kind of like, well, Detroit's got a lot of players that are real tough when the linesman's around, but I don't think they wanted any of this smoke. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, does that coincide with the return of Evander Kane? He brings that to the team, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I mean, you saw him last night. He was mixing it up after basically every whistle. So it's nice. It's nice to see the boys getting dragged into the fight together. It's nice to see everybody launch into the pile when something happens. I think they were missing that earlier in the year. And I know there's some people, the spreadsheet boys, they don't necessarily appreciate fights or what it does for a team. But I am not one of those, because I very much enjoy the shenanigans.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Not to harp on the All-Star break, but was Connor McDavid cheated out of a win in the accuracy challenge?
You know what? The funniest part about that to me was he went 8 for 8, still did not win the accuracy competition, and Flames fans acted like they won the Stanley Cup. So you know what? They can have that one. I think Connor cared about as much about that event as the rest of us watching,
It was weird. Did you watch any of it, Baggedmilk?
Yeah, I watched some of it off and on. First of all, I thought it was at least an hour too long. Second, they didn't move the show along very quickly. 3, them crowbarring the pre-recorded segments in between events was odd. Yeah, I did watch. It was just, I thought it was really boring, to be honest.
I think they're attempting to try to have some fun with it, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to poo-poo that, but I don't know. It seemed too much like this. They're in Florida, right? I was surprised that we're actually getting an All-Star game in Canada.
Toronto.
Did Bettman take a week off or something? And when that decision was made?
Yeah, this time we're going to do the dunk tank thing, but it's in Lake Superior, so it'll be a whole lot more fun.
See, now that I'd watch.
Yeah, I'd watch that too.
Yeah.
I'd watch that too.
It was weird. I found it very, very odd. So this road trip that they're on right now, again, we shouldn't, and knock on wood, I hate jinxing the team or saying anything that could be construed as a potential jinx, but this is a 4-game stretch that the Oilers should come home with at least 3 of 4.
Yeah, we said the exact same thing on my podcast, Oilers Nation Radio, yesterday. You've got Detroit last night. Obviously, there was 2 points. Then you got Philly on Thursday. They're starting to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
John Tortorella sent a letter to their season ticket holders being like, hey, you know what? We're terrible. And then the Flyers also are giving their fans free home games. As season ticket holders, they're giving them free home games in April. So they've got 3 games, and they're going to credit the money spent on those tickets towards next year's season tickets. So basically, Philly's already punting. So that has to be a win. And then you look at the back-to-back on the weekend. You got Ottawa and Montreal, both as 10:30 a.m. starts. I think you're right, Locke. You got to win at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, for sure. You got to beat Philly. You got to beat Philly tomorrow night. It's an early start here for us. It's a 5:00 puck drop. But yeah, I agree with you. This is one of those things where if you lose the next 3, you are jeopardizing your chances, in my opinion, of securing a playoff spot. You've got to nail these games down. And then the other thing too is oddly, it's the Pacific Division is not that good compared to the other divisions. I mean, it's a bit of a dud this year. But that top 4, they're all so wildly close, right?
Well, to me, that's the biggest. I'm not necessarily too concerned about the playoffs per se, but the division, like you said, Locke, is right there. They are 2 points behind Vegas for first place right now.
Yeah.
You could make up some ground and even leapfrog yourself into first place if you get, if you can win these next 3 games, all of a sudden you're putting yourself in a position to win the division. 3 weeks ago, when we were chatting on this segment, the Oilers were down and out, and all of a sudden they've got this 9-game point streak kind of going. They had that one OTL loss in there, but they've worked their way into potentially winning the division, and I hope that they see it and they want to grab it.
Yeah,
because I want them to grab it.
Yeah. You guys are going on vacation again, nation vacation, Toronto 2.0. Still some spots available on that?
There's a handful of spots left, but we're moving tickets now. Now that we're getting a little bit closer, we're just outside a month away from the trip. So it's March 10th to 12th. We're flying in. We're going a little bougie this time, Grant. We're staying at the Royal York downtown in Toronto. We're watching the game from a suite. If you've got a hockey bucket list of experiences that you want to check off, I mean, Hockey Night in Canada and Toronto, that's going to be one to scratch off the list, right? So nationgear.ca is where you go to get all the details for that trip. I beg you to join us. It's going to be a great time.
There he is, Baggedmilk, Oilers Nation. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thanks, boys.
The Locker Room for Always Plumbing and Heating. Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.